would you ever go back in and, as an example, further up the dog's jawline, below the ear, where you get a lot of the black, the wet black fur above the white, would you ever go back in and sort of begin at just scratching, exposing the white, and then re-ink the black lines to highlight them that way, or would you just work with the white?
No, definitely, like, especially in that area, and I'm on such a small board that I will definitely have to go back in and re-ink, and I'll probably use my smallest brush, like a liner brush, and re-ink that back in, and then go in, because I don't want to leave it just black. I would go back in and scratch in a few highlights on the fur. So yeah.
Will you do the background as well, or you just do the dog?
I'm thinking with this one, I'm not going to include the background because I really want the white to pop against the black, and I think, especially with the clumping effect of wet fur, it looks really cool against just a sharp black background because you get those really sharp edges in the fur, and I think overall it just helps the animal pop more by leaving those sharp edges against a blank background, whereas I think if I added in the sand or made something else up, they wouldn't stand out as much for my liking.
Do you do any different with finer hair compared to coarser hair?
Well,
would you use a different tool, or would you?
not really. Like, I like to use this. I stick usually with the scalpel with it. I tried the tungsten scriber, but it didn't. The lines were too thick for it, and I really like that sharp tip, the clumps to come to that really, really sharp tip. And when like the fur gets wet, I mean sometimes, if it's short enough, it'll just clump and look weird. Trying to think, and so with that approach, I would go in and I would make the clumps thicker, and I wouldn't have them come to a point, and I would make them, to make them look coarser, I would curve my lines more and have them come, I mean, still kind of going towards like a general like clumping area, but it wouldn't come to a point. Instead it'd be kind of more like a matted look.
Do you re-ink and try to build those clumps, I mean, thicker, or do you just kind of rely on the first scratching and overlaying lines without darkening them?
Yeah, because like with this, I like to keep in a lot of the black on the board, even with the white fur, because the way the fur lies, when it creates all its own shadows when it's wet. So I like to keep the black areas in, even with the white fur. And I probably like this. I'll probably go in and brighten it a little bit more, but I won't be going back in and inking it. With the black, I'll probably have to go back and ink because I might over scratch, and then I'll have to go back in and push it back a little bit. But with the white fur especially, I probably won't do any inking unless, of course, there's a major shadow in there that I want to get in. I think just from the technique itself, it creates its own good shadows, and it's really easy to get a lot of good contrast in there in the fur.
All right.